Alright, folks, welcome back, everyone. 皆さん、おかえりなさい。今日は20日目です。It's actually, yeah, it's day 20. I was thinking maybe, I think that only deals with age. Anyways, what time is it? So we got 81, a few more in another hour. I'm going to be 105. Okay, so we're getting kind of close to like 2/3 through the month of testing the default stuff. Trying to resist not to change too much of the flow where we're going. And then make some adjustments soon enough. Alright, so let's get into our grammar points. What? Oh, yeah, sugiru. Right, too much, very. What is this bottom thing? Oh, no, wait, yeah. Interesting. Yosugiru. Okay, na isugiru or yosasugiru. Okay. Interesting. Hold up. This one. Okay, hold on. Okay, that is fine. Right. Yep. I knew that. And then E adjective, you get rid of the E. I'm guessing that's what that strike means. And sugiru. And then na, no special changes either. Interesting. And then negative, not nai, na. Then adjective, you get rid of the na, nai, and got the nasa. Okay. And then the na adjective, you use the dewa off the nai and then replace the nai, or dewa, and then you replace the nai, yeah, off the, or replace the nasa. And yes, you can also use ya. Interesting. I only recognize it. I don't construct this, so that's interesting. So, sugiru is a verb that is used in Japanese to mean to exceed or to go past. It keeps this meaning when it is attached to other words and creates the Japanese equivalent of saying that something is too much, right? Sugiru can be joined to the mas stem of the verbs. Okay. And the mas stem by default is what I refer to as the E column. So the mas stem of the verb, the stem form of E adjective simply remove the E, right? Or the stem form of the na adjective simply remove the na. Right. Because you're gonna add a na, but you remove it.
頑張りすぎるのは体に良くない。
Right, because gambaru, so gambari skiru no wa shintai.
頑張りすぎるのは体に良くない。
Karadai. Oh, right. Oh, wait. Oh. No. It has a second character attached to it. Interesting. Huh. Oh, that's interesting. So both of them put together is still okay. Okay. And yokunai. Not good.
これは熱すぎるよ。
Atsusugiru yo. Too hot. Okay.
俺には田舎は静かすぎる。
And then that's an adjective. Suga. Okay. With Sugiru, the ru is regularly omitted. With sugi being used by itself, this is a casual language pattern, and sometimes you will hear, and something you will hear all the time. This variation may be used with any verb that sugiru would usually be used for.
この犬かわいすぎ
Okay. Alright. There are a few rules that you will need to be careful about when using sugiru. The first of these unique rules is using sugiru with nai. When linked to nai, right, this is the e adjective, the e changes to sa. And then creating the structure nasa, right? The e in nai, not the e in the e adjective. So nasa sugiru. This means too much, not a, or more naturally, not enough a. Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Okay. However, when the auxiliary version of nai follows verbs, the sa is not used, resulting in nasugiru. Right. That's one way to see that. Just gonna throw in past tense later. Okay. Okay. That will always be. Oh wait. Skipped. Okay. This mean. Okay. Follow verbs. The sa is not used. So nasugiru. Okay. Despite this, sa may sometimes be included following the verbs in slangy Japanese. Oh, that's interesting. The reverse is happening. As with regular nai forms, a dewa. Dewa or ja will be required when using after na adjectives. Yes. Right. Okay.
あの人は私のタイプじゃなさすぎる
Okay. Right. An adjective. Or noun. That's a... Wait. Yes. The noun. Wait. Adjective? There's no commentary on nouns. Oh yeah, I can see that being an adjective.
私はお金がなさすぎる
Right? That would be the... How to... Right. So, nai... Okay. I was thinking all three of these would illustrate this point, but that's not the idea. Okay.
この店は商品がなすぎる
Right. Showing the exception of nai. To compare the to compare this part with the verb stem, because the verb stem happens to be nai on aru in the negative. In the third example here, we can see that the sa had been omitted. This is not correct Japanese, as the sa will always be required when nai is functioning as an e adjective. Oh no. Oh no. It's not quite what they're going for. Because I wasn't thinking of it as nai as an e adjective. I was more thinking of it as the negation of aru. Interesting. The second unique rule is when using sugiru with e to mean too good. Because sugiru is used with the stem form of e adjectives, you will need to remember that the stem form of e is not actually e, but yo. Yeah. So this means yo sugiru would be correct, while he sugiru is not, right? That was
この
quite
歌は良すぎる。
caution, because sugiru itself is a verb. It can also appear in the negative form. This causes a lot of learners. This confuses a lot of learners, and is sometimes something that needs to be practiced. Let's have a look at all the ways that sugiru could possibly appear with nai. Okay. 学校に行かなさすぎるなさすぎるから成績が落ちた。Okay, phrase. Because of, I guess, the school not going, not going enough to school. Not going enough to school. Because not going enough to school, my grades are falling or going down. Don't go too much, okay. So, okay, so that's our basis right now. Right, that's our basis. And then 彼はトイレに行かなさすぎない。Here comes the double negative. 行かなさすぎない。So let me think about this. He doesn't not go to the toilet enough. So yeah, so he goes to the toilet enough. But that's kind of like the closest stuff that comes with this double negative is like the net speak of like I do not disagree situation, as opposed to like does not. But a verb that is inherently negative, that is preceded by the negation, is the closest double negative that is very colloquially used in English. Which doesn't actually impart that it's the opposite. And we just accept that it does not go. He does not go to the toilet enough. In this case, game center には行きすぎない Hiki tsukinai de ne? De ne? That would be the imperative attached to the negation of not, but the negation of sugi, but not in the positive affirmative of to go to the center. So just don't go to arcade too often. Yeah, the negative focus is on too much and sounds more like a request. Yeah. Oh, that's where the don't go. The day. Okay. Yeah. Sugi naide is naide, or yeah, naide ending is a different grammar point actually. Or I would think they would make it a different grammar point sometime. Because the meaning is different in each one of these sentences depending on where the nai is and how many nais there are. You may need to be careful while reading these until it starts to feel natural. Honestly, the three of these, I'm gonna use a double negative here. They aren't that unnatural, and I'm gonna add that as a separator between aren't unnatural. Aren't unnatural would be a double negative, which is the closest thing to this double negative. So instead of saying does not go, doesn't not go, like doesn't not go. If you say aren't unnatural, that's are not natural, right? Or I don't disagree, which is, oh yeah, kaijugation. You haven't seen that before? It's on their beta. You have to go to settings and turn on the beta. So this is something that was added within the last week. So we're gonna do that during our February practice month. But you have to go into settings. I'm not sure if it's limited by membership, but generally speaking, it's in the beta settings. Well, it's in the settings under beta stuff. So this stuff, I wouldn't say it's unnatural by coincidence. Okay. It is a tough first grammar thing. Nisuru. Decide on, oh, right, nisuru. To choose to make something, into, to view something as. Oh. To make something into. Sometimes written as osuru, which focuses on the result rather than the process of making. Interesting. Okay. Right. Let's go to check. Nisuru is a structure that combines the ni particle, a location or target, with the verb suru. It means to make, decide something in a certain way. The nuance with nisuru is that the speaker has direct control over the outcome. This is where the strong feeling of choice comes from. The noun that comes before nisuru is the thing that's being decided. Yes, and it can also be like a nominalized phrase in any sense as well. Speaking.
俺はビールにする。
In this example, although the common translation is to decide, it is actually much closer to the slang expression to do in English. Yes. It's interesting that's considered the slang expression, but there was a time when colloquialism was referred to as just colloquialism, but nowadays it's like the simplified stuff is all considered slang. This means that the literal translation is actually I'll do a beer and I'll make it a beer. Yeah, fair enough. Like literal, the word literal is slang now in colloquial English. This both means figuratively and literally because there's no distinction between I'll do a beer and I'm going to decide on this beer. Sometimes the particle to is used instead of ni. Although this has the same meaning, it changes the nuance slightly. When to is used, it takes away the feeling of being a direct decision. Tosuru tends to be used in more formal situations where this is only because to is less definite, so it results in the phrase sounding less pushy.
今日はここまでとする。
Intriguing.
"今日はここまでにする."
Okay. If you were going to compare these two to an English equivalent, it would be similar to the difference between the following sentences. I'll buy a burger, right? I'll go with the burger. You aren't going anywhere, it just sounds softer. Yeah. I understand why they went with I'll go with the burger, because if they said I would like a burger, it would be dealing with the show, like show and stuff, which is another thing. But to soften it, you can soften it by say I would go like I would like a burger, which is also a decision, but it also, that means that it would involve a different grammar point in Japanese as well. I'll go with the burgers. Yeah, go do get. There might be two more. Put. Go, do, get, put. I can't remember the fifth one. I think there are at least 5 common ones. 5 common ones, they're English slangs now. Because of NetSpeak, they're English slangs. So you use them to replace... like... basically creating softness because they're ambiguous. This grammar point may be used for more abstract nouns and does not specifically need to be items. This grammar point may be used for more abstract nouns and does not specifically need to be items. Yeah, fair enough.
ハイキングへ行くの日曜日にする?
Yeah. Interesting enough, Nisuru actually came up already in the Duolingo thing, so that's interesting. The toll part is gonna be a little adjustment. I like it though. I quite like it. Okay, yeah, to become. Naru. Just gotta make sure. Okay. Right. Always check for the polite to see if there's any special. Okay. So non-adjective, right? And then the e adjectives behaves like that, right? And then the noun and the non-adjectives line up. And then of course our one exception with e. All right. Ninaru with non-adjectives or kunaru with e adjectives is an expression used in Japanese to show. Oh yeah, that's why they wrote it separately, because of the e adjective. Is an expression used in Japanese to show that something is becoming a. It can be used with any form of naru to highlight that something will become non-pass something will become, which is non-past, is becoming continuous or has past. Yeah, it can even be used with negative forms to show that something will not become. Okay, all right.
早く食べて。冷たくなるよ。
The adjective. Okay.
お茶が冷たくなっているよ。
Right. This is the exercise about the continuous state of change. Like a state has changed and continue to stay in that state. Right. So it's gotten cold. So it's gotten cold and it stays cold. It's natte iru yo. The ending. Right. So. And then
コーヒーがぬるくなった。
and then this is natta, which is past tense.
コーヒーがぬるくなった。
Yeah, so this is past tense, where it is not stating that it stays lukewarm, but it just have changed into lukewarm, like it has become lukewarm. That's the difference between using the te form in iru and just natta. Right. Double checking all my conjugations while I'm going.
私は医者にならない。
Okay. In the example with the tea getting cold, oh, is this what they're gonna say? Okay. And they're gonna explain it. In the example with the tea getting cold, we can see how teiru sometimes highlights something that exists in an ongoing state. Yeah, that's what I said. Rather than changing any further. In other words, the tea has gone cold and remains to be cold. Yeah. So I'm practicing all of these things as we're going, obviously. And if they repeat it, it's reinforcement. I should be able to see these things as I'm going because they are grammar points that have been reinforced before. Additionally, the adjective e good is an exception to the regular conjugation rules for e adjectives and will conjugate as yokunaru and not ikunaru. Right.
勉強をしているから頭が良くなる。
I'm about to sneeze, sorry. Oh, excuse me. All right. Trying to stay vigilant. I'm a little bit tired. I've been getting pretty tired lately. All right. Out of is the best and most. Yeah, ga ichiban and no nakate. Yeah, so they are combined because you're saying out of a group, like out of a collection, this is the best, or it's the most something. It's the most of something. It's either the best or it is the most something after, or the best of something, of a quality or what have you. Because it can be anything. It can also be a nominalized verb phrase. It's the best we've ever eaten, something like that. In Japanese, no nakate, and then etc. Gai ichiban is a regular expression that is used for showing that something is the most. C, usually an adjective, usually. This structure can be used with almost any adjective, whether it's positive or negative. Each part of this grammar point represents the following, right? A group, a single person within that group, an adjective or general description of that thing or person. So A would be the group, right? No, nakade. So like within this group, A is the group, and then B is the choice, whatever the thing is, which is the best, and then the general description or the adjective. It comes after. Okay.
食べ物の中で寿司が一番好き。
Yeah. I think it's kind of interesting that this type of phrasing is, I would say, if there were a bridge for NetSpeak to learn English and Japanese, I would say this phrasing is probably top 10. Like top 10 most bridging for NetSpeak, because this is like algo speak right here. You don't even, the blue is out of, you don't even process out of really. It's just like all foods, I like sushi best, but like of all the foods but usually these prepositional parts don't necessarily have too much function because it's generalizable how NetSpeak works. When they say, ooh, sushi is the best, what it's saying is, of all the foods, sushi is best. That's what NetSpeak does. And that's kind of how, it's a coincidence, but yesterday, that's kind of how drama always tend to state his facts or state his comments when he projects, in my opinion. It's like, oh, it's, if you get more things, it's going to be worse. So of all the situations, it's going to get worse when you get more information. That's how the general facts work. So typically this type of phrasing is probably very intuitive to English NetSpeak. It's like, oh yeah, this game is the best. Of all the games available, this game is the best. And then you can add a conditional at the end, but whenever you ask the person, they would then have the conditional. So like, you mean of all the games, this is the best? And then they would say something like, oh, for now, it's the best. Like, this is the best game now. I'm like, okay, but there are a lot of different games. It's like, well, it's the best action game now, etc. So this is kind of the inference. Pretty much like 9 out of 10 times when someone states a general fact, it's revolving around outside of a group, like out of a group, and they don't speak the group. Right? Like it rarely ever spoke. So this is kind of a nice exercise. Like, what is your group that you're talking about? Like, of all, Japanese is the hardest. We were talking about this, like James and I were talking about this. Japanese is the hardest. What do you mean the hardest? Of all the languages graded on objective difficulty, Japanese by an English speaker, Japanese is one of the hardest, right? So this is the same structure. Only I added all the specifics that would be inferred later down the road.
食べ物の中で寿司が一番好き。授業の中で理科が一番嫌いです。
授業の中で理科 science 理科が一番嫌いです。How dare you? Alright, this expression is also frequently used with demonstratives such as, kono and sono. Yep.
この中でどれが一番好き？
Yeah, out of all of this, whatever this is, and this is even, in my opinion, these things are even closer to NetSpeak, where you use a pronoun or demonstrative. And I know this as a demonstrative, like a nominalized demonstrative, or like a noun, like it's a kono noun, but this is also now a pronoun, like a pronoun for a generalizable thing in English. Like this, it's like what this, like this what. It would be what I would go in my head, but it's this. It's a thing now. It's a replacement of everything. So whenever they say this, they're referring to something that's in their head that they don't specify. So like, this is the worst. That's exactly what this phrase is saying. Like what I mean is that's the construction in English. This is the worst. So out of everything, this is the worst. It's already inferred that it's out of everything. Whatever is going on out of everything, this is the worst. And this ends up being used as a pronoun, like for whatever out of all of this is. So this combines two Japanese points, right? This is the worst in English combines two Japanese points, or three actually. The Japanese point of kono being functioning as a noun, and it's also functioning as something that's previously mentioned, and then it's in this phrase when someone says this is the worst. And then how I process that is I ask about each part of the things. So when someone says this is the worst, I'm like, what do you mean by this? What is it? And then how is it the worst? Out of what? And how are you measuring the worst? What are you comparing it to? And hence this phrase. I would say of all the things, yeah, easily top 5 formats in NetSpeak. People do. I feel like there is rarely ever a discussion in which is as common. Yeah, very few. I speak like that now as well online, so like for a lot of instances whenever I'm trying to sound more grounded, I make these inferences too. Like, oh man, this is the worst right now. Like, oh, this one really sucks. So, or oh, this word, it's so difficult. Out of all the words, this is the worst one. And then you could say today. This is the worst one today. So many referentials.
その中ではクッキーが一番美味しい。
Okay. The construction a nanode is regularly translated by itself as among a, yes. It may be used in many different expressions. This will be covered in a separate grammar point. Oh, interesting. Alright. We got Yori, we got comparison now. Yori and no kata, no ho. Dang, keep saying kata. No ho ga. Gee. This is because the size of my window that it does this line break. Pretty sure. Inauspicious line break. Verb was yori be, right? Holga e, and then we can do adjectives, right? E adjectives comparing adjectives, and na requires a na, and then noun requires a nominalizing. Oh, just a no, but no necessary no after the noun a. I don't remember that. Okay. Alright. Okay, yoru naholga, right, can be thought of as similar to the grammar points holga yi and nai holga. We don't have those yet. Is this like illustrating the end? Yes, the end of the word before it. In that it expressed that one thing is better or more. However, unlike Olga Yi, based expressions. Any pair of adjectives, verbs, or nouns may be compared in this construction. So as long as the whole ga is followed by an adjective. Any pair of adjectives or verbs may be compared as long as, but only nouns follow noholga, and verbs and adjectives follow holga, and non-adjectives follow naholga. Or is that, am I reading this incorrectly? All right, we'll find out. Yori translates roughly to then or rather than. Yeah, okay.
田舎に住むより都会の方がいい。
Okay. So tokai is a noun. So that's a noun requires a no. And then
彼女より私の方が背が高い。
right. Still a noun.
映画は怖いより面白い方が好き。
Okay. So it's I would say technicality because technically adjectives follow holga and verb follows holga, and then non-adjectives follow naholga, and then naholga follows after nouns. So far, anyways. From the example listed here, we can see that yori will always appear. They're using the link though. This is part of the group, so they're using this as referring to the group structure, right? And these are permutations of this noholga, which technicality, I can argue for the technicality for and against at the same time. Okay. From the example listed here, we can see that yori will always appear after a word that has the lower extent of a when used together with naholga. Okay. Caution: when yori is used by itself or when it is not linked directly to the previous word, it can seem like it has the opposite effect. However, in these cases, naholga just remains unsaid. これがより高い。 This is more expensive compared to other things in general. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I see what that means. I see. In this example, because yori is after ga, not before kore, it's easy to assume that kore is the thing that is lower. I'm having trouble thinking that it's easy to assume that. In this example, because the yori is after ga, not before kore. Really before kore? Oh, because they're talking about an inferred subject being compared to this is expensive? That's kind of weird. So however, this ga behaves in the same way as the whole, meaning that kore itself is the more expensive thing, with yori just being used like relative compared to many other things. Okay. I don't think that. So that this caution is actually making it really hard. Or making I'm doing some mental gymnastics, because um it's easy to assume that this is the more expensive thing because yori came after kore. That's how I'm thinking about it. But then they're saying it's easy to assume that yori is the thing that is cheaper because there's nothing cheaper to which it is compared to, right? So following this rule, so if kore ga takai, right? If I use yori in the front and say kono kono yori, right? Kono yori kore ga takai, then kore wa takai, kore ga takai would be the, it is the more expensive thing. This thing and this thing, like this and this thing. I don't know. I still don't see that it's an easy assumption. So maybe that's because I'm more prone to thinking in a different way. I'm actually thinking the opposite. So the easy thing that I assume is the easy thing that it is, which is interesting. Like what they think it's easy to assume, it's difficult for me to assume. I actually assume the opposite. I assume that this is the more expensive thing. And I'm not sure if it's what they're saying here deals with some sort of English tendency. I don't know if there's an English tendency here. We'll see if it comes up. That's like when we get sentences, so we'll see if it comes up. If it comes up, then I can better appreciate what this means. At the moment with this exact example, I immediately thought this is more expensive. And I was expecting it to be the wrong thing, but it's the correct thing. Although nohoga is the most common construction, the particle o may sometimes replace ga. Okay, this is especially true when used with markers of desire such as tai and hoshi. It's just because things before yori are usually the lesser in the comparison. That's all they're saying. I know that's what they're saying. But the thing is, there's no other thing after yori. So you would have to assume that it is the more expensive thing. Like in an English tendency. In an English tendency, it would be that you are comparing something general because there's nothing after. So there are two ways to look at this. And I already know what they're talking about. I'm not saying it's confusing, so there's no clarification needed. There's something before yori, but there's nothing as well. What's not there is also important. So if it's not there, it has to be the thing that's expensive. So if you want to explain the confusion, right? If you want someone to like use the rules, you can think of it two ways to remediate the problem. The one way is that there's only one thing in front, but there's nothing after. There are two things that happen here when they're comparing. There's something after yori, and there's also something before yori. So if there's nothing after, then it would have to be the one that's attached to the thing. That's what I'm saying in the opposite direction. So there are two things that are happening in their rules. So one could assume the absence of something versus the existence of something, and it does bring up an interesting question. How many people assume what is there versus what is not there? And hear me out. I'm gonna say statistically, anecdotally, people are going to confirm what is there. So I understand what they mean by it's easy to assume that, because people use confirmation bias, is how I'm asserting it. So what is there is easier to confirm. So then, because what is there, it has to be before yori. What I see is something is absent. So it has to be the thing that it's being compared to. Like, so this has to be characterizing the thing that whatever missing is comparing to. Largely because I tend to focus on what's not there as well. There are two things that are happening here. Something is not there after yori, and something is there before yori. So those are the two conditions for the common construction. They don't necessarily word it that way. They simply word it as what is there. Is what I'm making the distinction here. Although it's common was replaced by, this is especially true when used with the marker of desire, such as tai and hoshi. The primary difference between these two is that ga emphasizes what a person wants or wants to do, right? The whole statement, while o emphasizes the item or action itself, regardless of the rest of the statement. With tai, both o and ga will sound completely natural. However, with hoshi, ga will be more natural. Wow, it's accepted. Oh, interesting. Wow, o is accepted. Interesting.給料がいい給料がいい仕事より楽しい仕事の方をしたい。So I want a fun job more than a job that, I guess this is kyoryo pays better. Okay. And then they're specifically focusing on the job that is fun, or just the job, really. Interesting. この小さいテレビよりその大きいテレビの方欲しい。I want that large, like that big TV more than this small TV. Natural, but ga is more common. Alright. That's fair. This use of hoshi only applies to wanting items as opposed to tai, which indicates a desire to do something. Interesting. I don't know if they're gonna have a grammar point about hoshi being like if hoshi with ga attached to a nominalized phrase, a nominalized verb phrase, as maybe something like unnaturally constructed or something like that. That's interesting. Oh, there's so many questions. I can't wait to figure out if I'm able to answer them in the future. This is such a different, it's so interestingly fun. Such a different process involved in thinking. Oh wait, we have to go back now. I spent way too much time yapping, and one of the things when I yap is I tend to run out of bus memory. Gahoshi is in N4, it looks like. Okay. Yeah. I'm looking forward to how Gahoshi works, or how flexible it is. As far as I know, it's kind of, there are weird things too. I think Sugiru takes the cake today. Holy Sugiru, I think that's gonna be a problem. And most of the time, I don't Most of the time when I speak, I don't think of this naturally either. Like even in English, I don't say this type of phrasing in English either. So this is gonna be a tall task. Not in the sense of too much. You don't think the negative form of Sugiryu are very common? That's good. That's good. Which it's interesting because the English form is very common, but I don't say the English form either. Like, I don't say, oh, you know, that's not good. But the standard forms are pretty common. Yeah. No, I'm not. Okay, so we want to be clear here. I said I'm not using them. Very common. That's not a general statement about other people, which is, you know, we're being very careful here. Like, so it is very common. I already know that it is very common. This has nothing to do with that. My comment is that I don't phrase this. And I already made like a huge digression about this, about how it is very common. And then the next phrase is even more common in both. Like both of them are very common, both in Japanese and in English. So there's no inference here that they're not common because I don't use them. That's the whole point. So yes, they are. The standard form is very common, and the negative form of Sugiru is, you know, are questionable. And then my comment was about net speak in English as well. So yes, in fact, I heard them like 10 times already this before I started stream because of YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts, the way they phrase things is appealing. It's appealing when you exaggerate. So even NetSpeak, when you're watching like translated things, both English and Japanese reinforces the use of Sugiru. I'm actually kind of curious if in the future the negative form of Sugiru becomes more common, because yeah, the internet is rather, and I'm maybe not by negative, maybe not motivated by Japanese speakers, but possibly those who have learned Japanese but commonly express English net things, like for example, that's so bad. That's so bad. How would you phrase that's so bad? Or like, that's so not good. What was how would down bad? Like down bad? Man, those are gonna be interesting. Oh yeah, man, that's so not good. NetSpeak. That's so not good. Meaning too much not good. Right? Too much not good. Or to the extent of it is so not good, it's not good. Not that it's bad, like not that it's good by negating not good. It's not good as in bad, so it's very bad. It's so bad. So not good. Or something like, man, that's definitely not very dog water. Okay, anyways, and I think we're gonna have a problem if they get tricky with Sugiru, but okay. Let's see. It's fine. No changes for polite. One of your N3 grammar points today translate that it's so not X. Oh, so there is something for that's so not X. For wake ga nai. Wake ga nai. Oh, interesting. That's good. So there's a distinction. So we don't have to, it doesn't overlap with this. Nice. Yeah, that's so not X. But its meaning is closer to, oh, there's no way that, oh, that cannot be the case. Oh, right. Dang it. Okay, that doesn't quite express. Interesting though. That's so not bad. So that's gonna be another fun little crossover. That's so not bad. That's so not X, meaning that's not the case, as opposed to that's so not bad as in the extent of a phrase that is inherently negative, right? Because the reason why I'm saying this is in NetSpeak right now, one of the most common things, yeah, it's just so as a more literal translation, wake, I see. So like NetSpeak, the thing that I find that is growing in popularity, is when someone's expressing something, they're using the negation of the adjective with a negative intensifier to like really punch home, like really emphasize the importance. So instead of saying good, they would say not bad. It's kind of funny because German has a funny like there's a meme about Germans like saying, oh, that's not bad, as in it's quite good situation. But anyways, that's a little like digression into like German things. But so not bad. So instead of using good, they used not bad. And then they added intensifier. So that's so not bad. Or that's very not bad. As opposed to saying that's so good, that's very good. There's a growing trend to change all affirmative positive verbs, positive phrases and stuff into their negative phrases by using the negation with not. So like, oh, that's so not good, or that's so not bad, as opposed to that's so bad versus not good. And that happens quite substantially. I usually use the affirmative when I need to sound positive, and then I use the negation when I need to sound negative. So whenever someone is really happy, I would say, oh, that's good. When someone is sad, I could choose to say, oh, that's very bad. Or I could be encouraging and say, oh, that's not so like not so bad. Or, oh, it's not very, like, I'm not gonna say it's not very not good, to like emphasize that it's not bad but it's not good situation. So this is kind of like a what is it? Oh, the best one that I use most of the time is agree and not agree. So when someone tries to be more agreeable, instead of saying I may agree, they could say, oh, sorry, it's not agree, it's not disagree. And I've seen this in like movies more often now than ever too. So I may agree, as opposed to I do not, right? Conjunction these, I do not disagree. I'm like, okay, I do not disagree. And it does mean something different. So in Japanese, I can imagine it will mean something different. Do not disagree doesn't mean the same as agree. it actually means may agree to some extent. So it's not I do agree, is I may agree, and then do is the slang for English. So do is wild. It's so crazy. Yeah, I don't disagree could be neutrality, exactly. So I may agree, I may disagree, so I don't disagree. Good old. And it'll be interesting to see how... Is that an N3 thing? Like how to do neutrality by using a double negative? I don't know if I came across a Japanese thing. I feel like the closest thing that I have, you know, since I'm N3 and lower, is that you would say it politely. So if you disagree politely, it's the neutrality disagreement. That's the closest equivalent that I would have right now, where you would say you would soften the disagreement or you would soften the agreement in order to appear more neutral, right? In NetSpeak, don't disagree is usually the case. It's not don't agree. Don't agree is like way off left field. Don't disagree though, it's not saying anything. Like, and not saying anything in a good way, like in a agreeable way. It's trying to be agreeable by not being strong about it. Yeah, you think Japanese does that a lot of softening phrasing, yeah. And I think, hear me out, this is me churning my head. I think the trendiness of Japanese culture is kind of coming through as well. So in a way, you can pick out people who are like feeling at home because there's a lot of uncertainty. And this is a coincidence, by the way. I'm not saying it's causal, but there are some fun coincidences. Uncertainty in feelings and uncertainty in conditions is coincidentally lining up with how Japanese speak in public, because it's uncertainty in public, so public speech. Now that's different from, it's not all part of communication. There's also certainty communication. Certainty communication is like opposite of Japanese. That's the general facts things. When someone say general facts, like, oh yeah, everyone's bad at expressing their feelings. I'll tie this together. So that becomes certainty, but in Japanese, you would speak softened. You would soften in most cases. You would soften like, oh, I think a lot of people, or out of all the possibilities, there's a chance that people have problems expressing in public. In the meantime, whenever someone in NetSpeak using English goes to express something of certainty, which deals with facts, they are passed off as strong generally. However, when it ever comes to feelings and conditions like introversion, anxiety, depression, things that have apprehension, it really does remind you of Japanese speak. Like the English counterparts are very, very on point. Like, here's one. I've noticed this by a couple people. If that makes sense. And this has a varying degree between desho. It's not daro. It's definitely ne. It's between ne and desho. If that makes sense. So I'll illustrate. Man, this is very difficult. If that makes sense. Or I think A is a little confusing with B. So maybe it has something to do with A, if that makes sense. So it's like desho and ne in a way that there should be some sense between the person telling the other person, but they're not certainly sure, but it is something that has something to do with sense, as opposed to like, now, right? Is it? So if that makes sense. That's a new one. Pretty interesting. I hear it so repeatedly. It's not a red flag, but it's a flag for uncertainty. So whenever someone adds a if clause, a conditional clause at the end that deals with expressing that they're either seeking agreement or not, that is a very glowing and uptrend, and Japanese does it like pretty much every character that is often in public and is any point of uncertain or like trying to be polite. They usually you either seek a question or they seek a confirmation or shared affirmation. So in English, like I'm not saying, hey, NetSpeak is trending upward, isn't it? Or like, oh man, people that I've encountered has a tendency of doing this, right? Or so I actually do go back and forth between the indicative form and the subjunctive. However, when you speak to people in English, they kind of sound Japanese. Like, potentially unironically, but definitely coincidentally. Whenever I ask them, so what did you do today? I think I did a lot today. I think. I'm like, okay, so you did a lot. What, like, for example, can you give me an example of what you did that's considered a lot? Well, you know, I did A, B, and C, right? Don't you think that's a lot? I'm like, I guess. I mean, you're the one that's supposed to be telling me what you're feeling because I don't actually know. And I don't say, right? Like, I don't know, right? I would say I don't know because that is indicative. It is most certainly that I can't possibly know if it's a big deal to you if you do not express it to me. So whenever I think about conversation in Japanese, that's kind of the humor part. You know, whenever you see like a drama, it's a drama still. But when you see a drama between like person A and person B, it's always with a, do you feel this way? I don't know. Do you feel this way? Nah? Right? Like, I don't know. How do you feel? Well, I kind of feel like this, don't you think? It's like, oh, well, I kind of feel like that too. Kind of, don't you think? Like, back and forth. And that's kind of how, whenever you're talking to even people outside now, like, especially NetSpeak, I'm like, are you sure? Like, you're not saying things like you're sure anymore. That has changed over the years. I think when talking with people, progressively younger people, these years, whenever you ask questions about them, they really humorously do remind me of Japanese people when they speak that aren't Japanese. Like, unironically, like they might not even be people who watch anime or dramatizations or interested in the Japanese language, but it's pretty like I find myself kind of smirking a little. Obviously we don't like see each other or anything, so my first thought is like, dang, this person, all I can hear is ne desho over and over again when they're speaking English. Like, oh yeah, I really like this game. I think. Do you think this game is good? I think this game is good, right? I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm sitting here having you tell me what your opinions are, but it doesn't sound like you're so sure about any of it. However, and then it kicks you in the face because the moment they have to state a fact that is not their own, as in, I don't know, X influencer said this a lot, they would punch you in the face so hard, like, this is true. They just knock you in the face like, this is true because X said it. And I'm like, I'm not so sure if you understand that it might not be true. So this is built into my narrative of what's happening with the digital age of people, where when facts are read online, they are absolutely 100% confident because they've witnessed it happen. Whenever they're talking about their ideas, like own ideas you form, your own opinions, your collaborative synergies, it's often deflected off to something that was told to them. So they are most certain about the things they read online. They are often spoken in a softened voice in which most things are not certain when they're speaking about themselves. So it's like, oh yeah, you know what? I think I'm studying Japanese wrong, according to this person. I'm like, okay. So the thing that person said, how is it related to what you think is going wrong? And they're like, well, that person said that this is what's wrong with what I'm doing. I'm like, that person didn't say anything about what you are doing. That person doesn't know you exist at the moment. Like, what is it about the person that said the things, and how does it relate to what you currently do? And they're like, well, you see, and then what they would go on and do is they would look for exactly what the person said in order to confirm that person's hypotheses, and ignore the rest, actually, because the rest of the stuff is so softened that they're uncertain about it. So for example, X influencer says it's not about motivation, right? Motivation is not important. If you can learn really easily, you don't need motivation. So this person would explain to me like, oh, you know, X said that motivation is not important to me. So what I did was I focused on making things as easy as possible, so I don't need motivation to do it. And my first thought was, so did it work? And they're like, no, it didn't work because I couldn't make it easy enough to be successful. And I'm like, okay, but what if one of the problems you have is you don't have enough motivation, or if not any motivation at all? Does that other person that you're following as certainty understand that there are people who are not motivated at all, like no baseline motivation, and that could be the limiting factor, and not because the content is easy? And this is a real problem like that. And it's only a problem because a person came to me and asked if I could help. And in order to help, you have to understand all the things that are going on, right? Like, it's not really like you're going to achieve that. You're aiming to understand all of as many of the things as possible that is involved in your success. So whenever they talk, it's like, oh, I read online that this thing is true. Notice that's the phrasing. I read online that this thing is true. And then when I asked them, so what makes you think the thing you read online or saw is true in your case? And then that's where the I think, right? Maybe, if that makes sense, comes up. And immediately you transition from something like this person doesn't make decisions on their own and synthesize decisions from their information. They rely on someone else to make the decision for them. So it's like clockwork, constantly over and over again. When they read something, they would specifically look to confirm it. So yesterday someone came by and said, whenever they start a new skill building thing, they get like lambasted by YouTube with, oh, it's not worth your time to do this in the first place. That's what I mean. Like, it's so tough when someone wants something and what they're exposed to online is to not do that thing. And then you talk to them, it's like, will you still do it even though someone says it's not worth your time? You're like, no, because the fact is someone said it online and I don't have opinions of my own. Like surrogately, I'm talking about like how the person speaks to me is that they don't have opinions of their own, nor can they synthesize more instances of things that don't exist. So like if they don't see a video that says, oh, you should learn this language, then they lack the motivation to want to learn that language. If they have a video that says, oh, don't learn this language, it's not worth it, then they would need a video to counter that in order to literally make a counter argument for it, right? So that's kind of like a weird situation. Sorry, I'm going like slightly off the rails, but most of this stuff really does relate to language. Understanding language and communication skills are so interesting because you can use all of these indicators when you talk to someone and you're advising someone, or you're speaking to someone and you're trying to sound encouraging or discouraging, like, or confidence. Like maybe someone around you want to be confident. Net speak, when people are on YouTube, they speak with confidence. So the normalization of English online is that it's indicative, it's with confidence. Not that all of it is confident. The ones that get served to you with the most highest frequency and tendency are served with confidence. When I talk to another person, I have to choose whether I want to be confident in what I'm saying or softening phrases. And honestly, I am far softer 90% of the time when I'm speaking to people that I consider as my peers, as individuals who know that we soften our conversations because we are actively wanting to discuss alternatives or contrasting and similar, different and similar perspectives. When it comes to talking to someone who acts on confirmation in order to rival that, in order to combat and integrate with that, you yourself have to be a source of confident speech. So it's kind of really, in a way, it kind of segregates communication. I tend to switch voices. I switch from subjunctive to indicative most of the time, and it's far more receptive than speaking subjunctive. I like to think that in Japanese speak, when you're like speaking Japanese, especially in public, and then you're interacting with strangers, which is what you'll do, most of the time it's the closest thing to the English subjunctive. And to me, I think people who learn Japanese often, the stuff that they presume and assume whatnot about Japanese is not quite it. I think public softening and whatnot, those purposes have an underlying element of neutrality, or like presenting opportunities for discussion or disagreement or agreement. They don't present it like removing choice. And it goes back to like hoshi and tai, which was today's grammar point as well. Like, and it's kind of humorous because sugiru comes up a lot in dramatic situations, and online when you're interacting with like Japanese content, they're very dramatic. Like YouTube, like when I watch my YouTube stuff, even the Japanese ones, it's dramatic. Even the interviews are dramatic. So I often wonder, wonder what happens when you meet a very reserved Japanese counterpart. Anyways, I am gonna have problems with this. We'll remember. Okay, what was the second point? Nisuru were fine, right? And then there's also Tosuru. Okay. Ninaru and kunaru. Kunaru was for the e adjective, and ninaru. Okay, we're good. And then we have the exception with e. No, nakade is fine. And then ga ichiban. I wonder how you're gonna enter this in the exercises. And then yori for the comparison. And then they are probably gonna do the whole single yori thing. This is a little bit problematic because I think I'm gonna screw up here. But we'll see. All right, let's get into it. Man, who said learning grammar isn't going to like elicit fun little talkies? Okay. Okay, so this is just a straight up standard, right? Is oi.
ここはゴミが多すぎる。
is fine, right? Yeah, because it's all and it's not oi because all gets lopped off, even though it's so the e gets lopped off. Okay, right. Okay, right. All right.
何にする？
何にする？何にする？ Said help. I don't think. Heck. I don't got this. Oh, wait, e adjective. I need the ku, right? Okay. Oh, and I don't need a. I don't. Okay, I don't need a particle. I don't need a particle for this. Hold up. Oh, because the e adjective is the exception. Right. Or the e adjective is replaced with ku. I don't need the particle in the e adjective. Okay. Okay, so how is this gonna be done? Okay, この right? なくて up. I have no idea what's happening here. Hold up. Do I need the de? Oh, I do need it. Okay. No, I don't. I gotta see if I have a... Okay, hold up.
「この中で一番好きな食べ物は何？」
Huh. Hold up. So I don't need a thing in this case. Interesting. It shows that form in the box. Yeah, well, it kinda, yeah, I know, but that's not what I'm, that's not what I'm thinking of. Just because it shows that form in the box. Like, just because this shows the form in the box, it doesn't explain how those elements come together. Yeah, this is pretty much, it doesn't seem to have an example of that in details. Yeah, it doesn't. So that's interesting. I guess I would have to remember it as an exception until I know what it means. So I gave it a placeholder. Basically, I wanted to place something as a placeholder. So I was gonna place like I think my only argument that I can think of why this exists is because this is like redundant. So you know how like sometimes when you mention something, like, and this is a redundant for something else. So you like to look at the example tabs as well for that reason. And sometimes have cases not covered in the main lesson. Well, the thing is, you just said it has in the structure. So like, that's great that you have the example here. Right. But technically this example also exists here. And this example doesn't explain what I was looking for. Yeah, like for example, this would be the literal answer, right? This is the this answer here. It still doesn't explain, or like it still doesn't explain why that is. Although I kind of get why you wouldn't want to repeat this. So then I decided to try to put nani in it, right? But then that doesn't work either. So it's fair. Like this. So the second example is what I was trying to do. So since this already has what was it, kono? I'm guessing it's because kono is redundant and it's already simplifying something before it. So like this is already getting replaced by kono, and then if you say kono again here, it's like redundant. So if you're already simplifying two things, you don't need to replace it. And then what I did here is I did this structure where I'm like, oh well, you could just put nani in it. It is being redundant because the what you're looking for is already this. So that's fair. That's kind of my thought behind the process, where like, okay, well, you're repeating yourself twice. So it's one of those things where you don't repeat the object, you replace it with this. And then if you're replacing this with this again, you might as well just not mention it at all. Like the object didn't change, or like the noun didn't change. So this is the example I was looking for as well. So I combined this and injected it here, which doesn't change the phrasing, in case you're wondering, right? Like even if you write nani ga ichiban 好きな食べ物はな oh wait, it might actually, because nani is here. Actually, I take it back. Oh, I can't do that because it's probably here. Then it would be okay. Oh, maybe because this is the topic. Oh, okay. No, maybe it's because this is the topic. Yeah. I see. Okay. So then that means that you would... Oh, then the word order would be this way. Wait. Is there another example of this? Hold up. Is there another example? Yes. Nandesu. So it's the word order. So yes. So here it's because of the word order that you don't need to mention the object. I got it. That makes sense. So does that mean that when you have this structure, you still have to follow up with this clarifier? That's interesting too. You can see that every instance when you have the topic, right, being marked, this is the phrase of the topic, it does not require you to signify that here, right? Because the topic, it's back here. That's interesting. And it makes sense because then I would have like a mix of I would have a topic of the, I mean, yeah. Actually, what about this one? Yep. So interesting. All right. I got it. I know what I'm looking for, at least for now. I know what I'm looking for. That's pretty neat. All right. この晩よりその晩 that's considered contrastive. Okay. And I promptly forgot everything. I promptly just forgot everything. Oh gosh. No dice. Oh, right. Right. Okay. Oh. Wait, that doesn't answer this. No. That doesn't answer my question. I need the object, right? No, and then it's just Holga for that one. Nah. Nah, Holga. Okay. Alright, alright, alright.
"このパンよりそのパンの方が美味しいです」
Okay, so nah adjective. Wait. The na does it need yori as well? Yes. Okay. I don't know. I'm not too confident on that. Why couldn't it just be maske? You know? Okay, so maske. Somehow I'm gonna weave maske or kemas or maske or menoske somehow into Holga. And it's really Holga because no na and nothing shows up. Okay. And then we're gonna try to blast through the vocabulary because in the interest of time. Hitherto. Nice. I don't know. I actually not quite sure what hitherto means. Here on like up till now, hitherto? I gotta look at hitherto. Until now, okay, yeah. Hitherto. Alright, Mada is a word which indicates being in a state of something not having been completed. Right? Right. I think that checks out. I was reviewing the grammar point in my head for a moment there. Itai is fair enough. Local cringy. Ippu. Fair enough. Guess make disappear or to erase, to rub, to turn off, to extinguish, to remove, to drown out, yeah. And to unalive. To rub out. Yeah. I usually think of it as to make disappear, largely because it kind of describes all. Oh, I thought of an activity that I'm going to be doing starting in March for the vocabulary thing. Can we add notes? Where does notes show up? It shows up right up here, right? Yeah, it does. Yeah, we're going to do a different activity after the first month, though. We're going to do a different activity on this, and it's going to be fun because it's going to be related to Wanikani activity. It's going to be a tester. Let's see how quickly we can pull it off. Kotaeru. 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 Yeah, kotaeru. Okay. Mori. Fair enough. One thing that is very different so far in Bunpro, just a vanilla Bunpro, like we're not adding any extra things, is the idea that this stuff isn't visible whenever you're answering, which is awesome because I don't do that very often. So we're removing the recognition component from Bunpro. Does not rely on recognition, right? And that's kind of one of the things that visibly is a checkpoint. I have a checkpoint in trying to visualize the character instead of recognizing it. And this does deal with the ending, like this stuff too. Kumori would be a recognition problem here, which is like the endings to the verbs, the various endings to various verbs or various characters. All right, semai. That's fine. Dainen, it's fine. Kuro, fine. Sentaku, maybe not as fine. Sentaku, I don't remember what I have on this. Okay, so every time I'm saying fine is I'm deconstructing these characters. So I'm taking this word and I'm deconstructing them into their separate characters. And then I'm doing a quick test for their reads, whether they're onyomi or kunyomi, and then testing their meaning after that. The characters separately themselves, not the whole thing, but the characters themselves, in case I forget one of them. Right, so I'm doing the opposite, like we're going back downward towards Monikani as opposed to going upwards towards a sentence, which sentences will be provided. That's Bunpro goes the other direction. They take the vocabulary and then they take the sentence, fill in the vocabulary, so it's going down from the sentence. And I'm not sure about Taku. Taku is not fresh in my head. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I always thought it was. Oh no. Yeah. No. The other way sounds weird. Yeah. 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 Or yeah. It gets shortened in colloquial. Right. Jozu. Can't forget Jozu. Eta? Nope. You're right. Umai. It's got umai. Which means anything that is positive. Indeed. 日本語上手です。And it also drops the o, which is funny. Colloquial speak. 日本語上手ですね. I like how you use the MAKU. The how it converted MAKU into the curtain. Shonen. What I typically say is 你的中文说得很好，太好了。A bit of flattery. You spoke your spoken Mandarin in very, very well. very well. Like good, even very well. Similar sentiments. I'm trying to think if I heard a Spanish equivalent of the popular phrase. Not really. Like, it's kind of weird to, like, in my head, I don't hear a stereotypical saying you speak Spanish really well in like the same way that 日本語上手ですね and 说的中文很好 right 说的中文很好 similar. French or German people just switch to English. Oh, you know what? That's probably it. That's probably why I can't think of also in Spanish. Like, your Spanish is good. Like, I think that's you speak good Spanish or something like that. I can't think of it. Yeah, like 你说的中文很好 is like classic. It's incredibly classic. So when I learned about the 日本語上手ですね, like that meme, I'm like, yeah, like I don't even need to read Chinese or like hear my parents say something or someone to trigger my Mandarin speak, like my weak broken Mandarin speak, to immediately know how to say you speak Chinese well. Like, it's very, very common. Super common, yeah. And it deals with that whole public thing. In my dialect, I haven't ever heard of it because you don't really refer to the dialect. It's super rare. You either speak the dialect or you don't. The response would be something like, for example, I feel like this is gonna happen in Japanese. If you happen to speak a Kansai dialect, for example, and then you go to like Osaka, and then someone says something like, "Oh, are you from Kansai? Like, are you a Kansai native?" That's what I would expect when you enter a less nationalized or popularized dialect. So in Fujianese, when someone speaks Fujianese to someone, they would inquire if you either know someone who is Fujin or you are Fujin. Like, they would ask if you're Fujin, as opposed to saying, "Oh, your Fujianese is very good." It would be immediately they just jump to the conclusion like, "Oh, do you know someone who's Fujianese?" If you don't look like it, or be really shocked. And then alternatively, you look Chinese and they would ask you, "Oh, are you Fujianese?" As opposed to like saying something else. Like saying, "Oh yeah, your dialect is really good," because they usually, the happenstance is not to expect that someone would be speaking in a dialect. They would speak in either Cantonese or Mandarin most of the time. That's such an interesting thing. Like French has like 20 plus different variances outside of the oui French. So like around French's border, there are like different influenced versions of French and their neighboring border things. Like even Catalan is spoken in like Southern French or something. So I'm curious if that happens in German and French. Spanish, probably like Dominican. Like you can probably pick out Dominican definitely from like a Chilean or a Puerto Rican or something like that. And Mexicano. And then, you know, occasionally you might find a Spanish international come by and talk and like, "Oh, hey, are you from this region?" As opposed to, "Hey, your Spanish is really good." Maybe something like, "Oh, 你可以你 哇，你也讲对福州话，你got dinner all here. That would be something like, oh, you can speak Fujianese. Where did you learn Fujianese? As opposed to your Fujianese is good. It's more like, wait, how did you like where did you learn these? いただきます。いただきます。All right. どのくらいphrase primarily used to ask about the rough amount of something. I don't recall. Okay, there's also, yeah, here's the dore kurai. Dore kurai. Man, it's high, it's heiban. I typically have said it for a long time this way. So like dono kurai, as opposed to like well, what I typically have said, I thought these as two separate things. So then this would be like, I thought it would be this way. So dono kurai. But this is having it marked as dono kurai. Interesting. I guess it might sound less weird in sentence. Made. Wait. Okay, grammar point. I totally forgot half the grammar points, like the nuance ones for made. Something about measurable. I think made had something to do with measurable. If it's a noun, it's like less measurable, and then if it's like an adjective, it's more measurable or something. I'm really trying to remember the nuances because I feel like Bunpro does a fairly spread out job of like giving you the different use cases. Even in the vocabulary section, they would like throw you a meaning 6 or throw you a meaning 8, and it may be like because of perhaps illustrating the frequency or something, but there were a couple situations already. I think there were 5 or 6 instances where it was like, oh, that one. Okay, Raigetsu. Raigetsu. I need to hear this.
ダイエット
Diet. Okay. So, I... Tengetsu. Alrighty.
弟はまだ5歳だ。
足が痛い
これは飛行機の切符です。
Oh, I do have to mention one thing. I'm not sure where I'm gonna mention this. I still have to find a way. I usually am far slower. I take my time with when I'm doing things on stream, but oftentimes it's like shortcuts and stuff when I'm off stream. So these are the times where I basically try to slow down as much as I can to do more things. So one thing that may be a little bit confusing or maybe impatience can roll in is the idea that I'm sitting here thinking about things, but I don't typically think about them when I'm like passively watching anime and like hearing vlogs and stuff. Then only then what I do is I typically jump as quickly as possible to whatever gets me to the answer. This one though, this is my time where I rant and talk about things as deeply as I can. I think it's one of my basic rituals. When I'm very active and still have stamina left, I still try to use my whole brain, all the ripples and all. And then I go into smooth brain territory, automation and smooth brain territory when it comes to watching things in the evening and chilling and chillaxing and vibing. So, Konro, really? Konro no ka? No hi? Konro no hi? Oops. Wait. Uh-oh.
コンロの火を消す。
I thought of so many things there. Oops.
質問に答える。
Oh, there was two answers there.
今日は曇りだ。
That helps. The da helps. Oh. I don't want to. Wait. Hold up. This isn't what I think it is. I actually, like, they're gonna bot me this, right? Yeah. How do we lack space between walls? Oh, right.
この部屋は狭い。
right.
私は来年で20歳になる。
There's Hatachi. I paused today when I said 20 nichi, and I'm like, huh. No, I think that deals with years specifically. I think. But I'm not sure. It could still be Hadachi or I don't know. But specifically, the only time I remember Hadachi is dealing with the age of someone.
私の家の風呂は小さい。
毎日洗濯をします。
一人で暮らしている。いいえ、両親と暮らしています。
彼はサッカーが上手だ。
Eh? There's no dice on this. Ah, umai. Okay. Gotta default to umai.
兄は歌うのがうまい。
And ending could have helped with that. Or the lack of, I suppose.
あなたは去年何歳でしたか？
朝ごはんを食べる前。いただきます。
この教科書の重さはどのくらい？
Dono kurai? Yeah? Yeah? Hey, it's up and it's upper too. Oh, right. Right, and then you could also do kurai and kurai. Okay.
学校から家まで歩く。
来月は12月だ。
ダイエットをする。
先月は誕生日でした。
I kid you not. This is the most times I've ever seen the word diet. Oh. It might be super common, but I like written out, not heard. I heard. Oh no, what happened, Bunpro? Bunpro? Uh-oh. I've noticed this happen before. Not on stream, but. Okay. Am I disconnecting? No. Well, we yapped enough for the 2-hour period for our reviews. So here we go. Yeah. I am looking forward to February, where we're gonna like start really practicing these things. Actually, it won't take till February. We got 5 days left. No, 6 days left. And then we're gonna start doing a review process for across till March. We can really hammer on, start to come up with clever ways and integrate diagramming and whatnot. I gotta organize all these thoughts. Vocabulary, we're gonna do the vocabulary will also conclude before the month of March. It's all planned now. Got a better feel. Okay.
ゆいはクッキーを買った。ゆいはクッキーを買いました。
Okay.
何が好きですか？
At the moment, this first month, and for the next couple days, the next 6 days, I'm still focusing on trying to gather all my thoughts while I'm doing this. There's no like routine that is locked in place yet. Like the steps that I'm going through, that is a routine. just kind of a bit of a jumble at the moment.
まだ雨が降っているの？
Okay.
たくさん雪が降りました。
Okay. Uh,
花がある木。
okay. Okay. That concept is okay.
7時までです。
これはゆうきさんのお母さんですか？
I was thinking ka is also non-exhaustive, but it's interrogative and particle. Okay.
あと30分ぐらいで行きます。
Write the alternatives, could I? Okay, so
川が細い。
okay. Uh Heck. Emphasis on order. So I would need the Tay form. Right. Definitely need the Tay form.
「暇になってからゆっくり旅行に行きたい。
Okay. Interesting that Yukuri Ryoko becomes a long trip. Leisure, right? Leisure. Leisurely. Okay.
あれはバスだよ。
東京に何をしたの？行く？ Conjunctive? Oh. Uh-oh. Oh.
東京に行って何をしたの？
Irregular. Because irregular. Okay. And this is the order map. Gakkou ni iku. Nani desu ka? Such a subjective feeling. This is the Nogaski?
学校に行くのが好きですか？
Yeah, the way it's phrased, you like going to school, so we nominalize going to school, and then ski. And then the deska kind of seals the deal. There are certainly other ways to say that. Unexpected. Shimashita.
もうしました。
ね。電車は東京に Progressive Polite 行く。
電車は東京に行っています。
I've got the polite, so います、not いる。います。彼が来る article and extent until 日本語を勉強します。Oh, no, wait. Until. New one. This is a new one. It could be. No, it's not that. Oh, no. I think it's just. Same.
彼が来るまで日本語を勉強します。
I think we have multiple notes now. Two or three grammar points. On made. それは extend 面白いですね。I think this is
それは結構面白いですね。
Okay. Alright. 早く食べたい。
早く食べたい。
Thai form is something that was drilled by Duolingo fairly early. So many very specific forms are drilled. And then we're not necessarily avoiding, but we're lower practicing polite things and dedicated to more casual and semi-polite, like casual and semi-polite things because of the drilling Duolingo in the first year. Domo, 難しい。Article confirming? Article confirming? Is that considered a particle? I don't think it's considered a particle. So which one is this? An aggressive, isn't it? There's no, it's not. It particle. What particles do we have? That's like aggressive, or like, maybe like, no, that's not considered. Alright, I started typing Dado. Maybe. The show is too soft, right? It's gotta be Dado. I guess that's considered a particle, maybe? Nope. How about a grammar pattern that's a bit more polite? Oh, you really do want desho. No? How about expanding the base grammar pattern to include the extra nuance within the translation? Yes. I am having a problem with that. Mr. Bunpro. Oh, wait. I remember. Wait. But it's semi-polite. Okay, it's probably... No? Wait. Wait. Oh no. How about like know this? Oh no. Oh wait. Can I get Oh no. Oh no. I have what else can you prefer confirm? Maybe I mean, can it just be net?
今日も忙しいね。
Whatever. We're whatever. That's fine. I guess. Oh, okay. I mean, that's fine. Eventually, you'll get to it. You know, eventually. So they consider that as confirm and. Okay. All right. No? Anyone is fine. How do we get everyone is fine? Something E, probably. Permissive. Maybe, MOE? That doesn't quite jive.
誰でもいい。
MOE. Because of, noun. MOE. The expression. My smooth brain. 私は彼が嫌いだ。え？
私は彼が嫌いだ。
あ、彼が。Oops, I dropped the ga. 彼が嫌いだ。勉強する in the negative progressive polite. Oh boy, howdy. Okay. My brain is gone. Oh no. Wait. Hold up. I still haven't studied. Oh no. まだ勉強して今な
まだ勉強していません。
I had a typo somewhere. I didn't see where the typo was. It could be the M. My M key doesn't work. All the or oh no wait, I don't have an M here. Oh, it could have been Made actually. Mada, no, sorry. I think I might have typed Made actually. I meant to type Mada if I typed Made. Mada. Okay. So hold up. Still I can okay, shite, right? A form. And then we do polite, non-past polite, then the negation. So we could also do it as nai. Oh no. Shite nakatta. Hold up. Are all these other ones? Oh, shite inai. Oh, right. We're conjugating iru. Right. So it would be inai. And if we were doing the past, inakatte. Inakatta. And we can omit the e as well. Alright. Kairu. Before. 前に
帰る前に勉強をする。
勉強する。掃除をしは。Oh, this is particle, non-exhaustive, no particular order, right? So it would be something like 掃除をしたい掃除をしたり洗濯をしたりした。
掃除をしたり、洗濯をしたりした。
Alright. Awful. それは awful です。大変 and then probably fine because we have the des, right?
それは大変です。
Non-adjective. Okay. Now we do the vocab. Vocab.
会社の飲み会で社長。さあ皆さん乾杯をしましょう。
あれは映画館ですか？
僕はまだ娘の彼氏と会っていません。
子供。僕は消防士になりたいです。
消防士 Interesting.
夫が妻に、どうして君は怒っているの？
スーパーに行く前に飼い犬の散歩をしました。
I think this is Genki. Heck! I was going for it. Alright, fine. No wait. Can you actually use no. No, you can't use that word either. That doesn't describe people. What's another way? Maybe like akarui? Heck. Oh no, lively deaths. Not got nah. What is another way to say bright and cheery and lively? I guess Nikiyaka is. Oh no, it can't be. Like you can't describe people that way. What else is lively? Oh, it could be like asobi. I'm so. Why are there so many? Hold on. Let's think about this carefully. What is another way? Are always lively. Elementary school and kindergartens are always lively. Oh wait, no, that's fine. It's not people. Sorry, that's places. I'm a butthead. I didn't read that properly. I thought it said elementary school kids and kindergarten kids. Like I was inferring the people. No. This is Nikaka. I spelled it wrong. Probably. Yeah, I did. What?
小学校や幼稚園はいつも賑やかです。
I overanalyzed myself. I thought they were referring to the kids. Dang it. It's fine. It will happen. Whoops.
客が店員に本当にこのエアコンの性能がいいのですか？
Oh no, we don't have the other air conditioner yet.
来週は試験があるので、今週は勉強をします。
このビルは学校かな？
兄が弟に、もう終わったことをくよくよ悩むな。
Kuyo. Kuyo? Well? Or yes? Interesting. Darn you!
あなたはどんなご飯が好き？
Dang it. I did a 50-50. I was like rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oops. What? Oh. Oops. I missed the...
母が息子に、いらないものを捨てましょう。
Heck!
明日の午前までにこの課題を終わらせなくちゃいけない。
Interesting. Okay.
今日はお風呂の掃除をしなくてはいけない。
息子に厳しいことを言ったが、彼は理解していない。
Oops.
鉛筆で字を書く。
これは彼のノートです。
同僚、彼女は君の上司でしょう？
雨の日はバス停の列が長くなります。
あそこは危ないです。
End, right? I thought end was... we're using probably to A verb conjugate. Oh no, it could be. Oh, it's because. Wait. No. That's the movie. No, we were doing like.
もう映画が終わってしまったので悲しいです。
What the? Oh. What it?
外が暑いので涼しい室内に行きたいです。
音楽家。明日は一日中音楽の制作をするつもりです。
鑑定士。それはあなたの先祖のものですか？
僕は毎日日本語の勉強をしています。
この道は広いです。
新鮮な寿司を食べに北海道へ行く。
Hokkaido has some fallen. What is the stem part? Or not the stem part, what is I think they're fallen? Oh wait. Wait, what type of fallen are we talking about? Hail. Hail.
おばあちゃんから近所であられが降ったと聞きました。
夫が妻に、すぐに怒らないでください。
あなたはコーヒーを飲みますか？
夏休みはいつまでか知っていますか？
Heck. Wait. How is everyone doing? Oh.
先生、皆さん元気ですか？生徒たち。はい、元気です。
私の好きな場所はここです。
No. I have so many thoughts. Hold on. Breathe. It's like, oh. Oh no. Wait. Really? Did not? You meet and then you discuss, so like, what? Online meeting. Oh, they're using like probably.
風邪が流行っているのでオンラインで会議をしましょう。
新聞を配る。
寝坊したので遊びの時間がありません。
これはカフェですか？
母が娘に、どこでその怪しい人を見たの？
本社を東京に置く。
私は太ったけれども昔より今の方が幸せだ。
南の方にベランダがある家に住みたい。
You probably have like 6 or 7 cars for meetings. Seems like there's a lot of words for it. Yeah, me too. You just keep throwing around all the words. I thought it was kaitan, like meeting and talking. Kaidan, and then there's like there's various forms of like tan and kan and sha. I can meetings all over the place.
母が私にあの国には行くなと忠告した。
It'll be interesting to see if they end up on grammar points or not. Or like some sort of nuance, connected with some sort of nuance. Like, it's gonna have to be a coincidence though.
私は毎週塾に行かなくてはいけません。
親が子供に、結婚をする前に同棲をした方がいいよ。
Yeah, that one includes Theo.
この鳥を傷つけたのは誰ですか？
Whoops.
封筒に切手を貼らなくてはいけません。
僕は漫画よりアニメの方が好きだ。
Classic phrase.
あのラーメン屋さんの右のお店の名前を教えてください。
Good old positions.
この学校は古いです。
Heck turnover. I'm gonna say
田んぼを返す。
yes.
この本は図書館のものです。
すみません、バス停はどこですか？
Oops.
子供、味見をしてもいい？親。少しだけね。
Oh. Oh, no, wait. Heck! I missed the E! Oh my gosh, I keep typing.
熱があるときはお風呂に入らない方がいいよ。
Holy.
日が沈むまでスキーをしたので筋肉痛になりました。
Into.
寒いので温泉に入りたいです。
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I don't recall the twist. The twist is I don't know the twist. Brainstorm about this for a moment. Oh, right. Right.
ネクタイが曲がる。
タグ。この服を水洗いしてはいけない。
Cheerful.
私の母は明るい人です。
今日は風がとても強い。
俳優の独り言。もっと有名になりたい。
好きな言葉は愛だ。
先週より今週の方が多く働いた。
Oops.
店員。これは性能がいい掃除機です。
今日初めてサッカーをしました。
私には子供が2人います。
Heck. Invite. Invite. パーティーにたくさんの友達をいましょう。いいbeing. Oh, I thought I was going with assault, or maybe not. Huh. Oh, it could be is it Yobu? Yeah. Yo
パー
works.
ティーにたくさんの友達を呼びましょ
姉が妹に。なんで泣いているの？誰のせい？
I didn't know say. That's interesting.
う。東の反対の方角は西です。
Fair enough.
今は朝だからおはようと言いましょう。
Relax. する。
同僚との会話。休暇中はビーチに行ってゆっくりするつもりだ。
The suitor kind of gave it away. This has a nuance of later at night. Let's use a word that is used for a slightly earlier time. Hold up. Slightly earlier time.
デートに誘う。明日の晩に一緒にご飯を食べませんか？
僕、お名前は？
私は車を洗うバイトをしています。
Which? Which most puts your body at ease? I only got Dochira. Wait, can I do? Okay. How can we say something similar with a bigger range of options? Did I type correctly? Yeah, no, I didn't. I just screwed up the which doll.
あなたはそこに行ったことがある？
今日は楽しかった？うん、すごく楽しかった。
私は男の人と話すことが嫌いです。
Dang.
私は彼女と遊ぶのが大好きです。
服を脱ぐ。
Oops. Not that, not that.
弟より私の方が料理をするのが上手だ。
妻が夫に、両親の前でスキンシップをしないでください。
Skin? What? 前でskinship. Interesting. I can kind of see it. Skin, like, it's kind of like, interesting, touchy. Oops. At the knee.
おじいちゃんがおばあちゃんに、ばあさん、一緒に散歩に行きませんか？
Classic wasego. Yeah.
洋服を売ったりあげたりする。
Nope.
あなたの教室はどこですか？
この店は新しいです。
子供のためにジュースを買う。
携帯で病院に電話をかける。
牛肉は高いから豚肉ですき焼きをしましょ
That sounds delicious.
ここに青のペンがあります。
う。まだ晩ご飯を食べていないのでお腹がペコペコだ。
Peckish. Pickle pickle that. That's what I think of when I think of pickle pickle. Peckish. Uh
君は今までにハンバーガーを何個食べたことがあ
I
る？
immediately think of kurai, but none. Yeah, that makes sense with that construction.
母が息子に、一緒に大学のオープンキャンパスに行きましょ
父が義理の父を誘う。一緒にパンを買いに行きませんか？
う。医師、時々運動をした方がいいですよ。
私はサッカーを習っています。
雪国の人は毎日雪かきをしなくてはならない。
父は毎朝新聞を読みます。
先生の独り言。今日はたくさんの宿題を出そう。
写真を見ながら、どの女性が警察ですか？
Imagine.
友達と走る。
Imagine.
あなたの好きな食べ物は？
日本の夏は暑い。
Oh. I don't think this is what I think it is. Not literally. Or maybe. Do I? I mean, I could type like. Oh, okay. Step down. Like. From his position. Thought it might have been. Oh no, I think I spelled it wrong. I think Ori. Ori works.
彼は未成年と飲酒をしたので、市長の座を降りました。
この犬はとてもかわいい。
I had an extra syllable for whatever reason. It just sounded better, I guess.
どうやって文法を勉強していますか？
Ah. Let's try the abbreviation one. Oh, man.
これは兄のパソコンです。
Just went with Pasocon first.
感情を外に出す。
外に出す。
私のお弁当はどれ？
僕は日本に5年くらい住んでいます。
僕は彼女からのメールの返信を待っています。
小さな子供。僕の歯はまだ生え変わっていません。
Interesting. Interesting. Let's try another word here that is used when crossing. Oh,
姉が海外へ渡ったのは5年前だ。
I see. Crossing the seas. Wait. Oh. Oh, right. Standalone.
僕は牛の肉が大好きだ。
It
ま
has
た、
niku
豚や
in it.
鶏の肉も大好きだ。
私の妹は8歳です。
What points? All right. Okay. I think we're just gonna keep on this. I was trying to do like a recovery, like an active recall session, but I think we're gonna leave it for now. See where we can make room for an active recall session. Although today I have a longer day. I'm gonna end here for now. So that's a wrap for my Bunpro session. We're gonna watch this here. Arigatou gozaimasu. As always, feel free to follow along, pick up Bunpro, give it a try, you know. You're always welcome to come on by, discuss, meander, banter, share some ideas, try to keep each other motivated. So until next time, 皆さん、またね。見てくれてありがとう. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna get up, stretch, take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be back for Hansi Hero. Thank you, thank you.